In this section of notes, we're going to look at different types of experiments. So rather than just a completely randomized design, what are some other things that we can do? So in a previous section, we learned about doing surveys where if we thought that our population consisted of different groups that are somehow different from each other, we would use stratified random sampling. So we talked about asking our questions to a group of freshmen versus a group of seniors, and maybe they'd be different. Now there's something kind of parallel to that for experiments. So be careful not to confuse them. Stratified sampling is for studies, and now we're going to do something called blocking, which is for experiments. So when you use blocking, you also split up your groups because you think they're somehow different from each other, so something they have in common maybe. So you could maybe do an experiment with students, and maybe you would put seniors in one group and freshmen in another group. And if it's an experiment rather than a study, then we call them blocks rather than strata. But basically, all that changes is you kind of do the entire experiment twice. You do it with one group and then another group. So here we have something about two different keyboards and how well that people can type. So maybe we think there's a difference between the type of phone that people have. So basically we do the entire study twice, once with one group of people that have one type of phone, and then another time with the other people that are using a different type of phone. So that's just called a block design. And then you take each of those blocks and you randomly assign them to each of the keyboards. So that piece is still there. So this is called a randomized block design rather than a completely randomized design. Now, one other way that you can group is maybe you have individuals that are very similar to each other. So maybe they're twins, or maybe you're looking at the same person twice. Like maybe you're going to look at how a new pair of shoes will wear, and you have some person wear one shoe on their left foot and then the new shoe on their right foot. So since you're looking at the two shoes on the two different feet of the same person, that might be another example of this. Or maybe you do something like before and after. So all of these examples are matched pairs. So your groups are only of size 2. So there's two people, sometimes the same person, like the left foot and the right foot per group. And then you carry out the study as a pair. So either you have a set of twins and you want to see how each twin responds to some treatment, or you have the same person testing out two different treatments, either before and after, or maybe like left foot, right foot if you're looking at how well shoes wear. So a matched pair design is just a special case of a block design where you've got groups of 2 rather than blocks of maybe 4 people and 6 people like we had in the smartphone and regular phone example from the last slide.